Hi everyone, it's Mary, and for today's video, we're going to talk about one of the creative offers within the real estate field, and it's called owner financing, right? We're going to learn how to identify an owner financing deal and how to underwrite it as well. Now, to first things first, you need to understand that when I'm owner financing a deal, that means the owner now is like my bank and I'm paying them a mortgage. Now, mortgage is separated into four pillars: principal, interest, tax, and insurance. So PITI for short. Principal is the stable amount that I'm going to be paying each month. Interest is the interest rate added on top of that principal. And of course, the tax and insurance. Now, for the tax and insurance, that's not something that you can guess. That's not something that you can Google. The tax and insurance needs to be provided by the owner. He needs to provide you a documentation stating how much tax he pays and how much insurance he pays on the property. Now, the second thing is the interest rate and the principal. That's the second and third thing, within the PITI. Now, let's discuss what kind of property works best for owner financing. And that's going to be the turnkey properties or rent-ready properties, whether it's currently rented, it has tenants on them, yearly, monthly lease, it doesn't really matter, or is it vacant? Or is it vacant? So, let's talk about rules when it comes to owner financing. Remember, first things first, you must get the tax and insurance documentation from the owner. The owner can redact any sensitive information that they don't want to give us, but we need to see a documentation that states how much tax and how much insurance they're paying each month. If the property is currently rented, it has tenants on it, the owner also must provide you with something called a rent roll, right? Rent roll basically is a statement that says how much, the current tenants are paying. You also cannot guess that, and you cannot take the owner's word by it. You need a documentation stating, how much the tenants are paying, how much the owner is paying in tax or insurance on the property, right? Again, the owner, and the key word here is redact. The owner can redact any sensitive information that he doesn't want to give us, as long as we have a written documentation with the information, which is tax, insurance, and rent roll, so or rent amount. Now, you may be wondering, okay, Mary, well, currently I'm wholesaling. How am I making any money on this property when there is no assignment fees, right? You're making money through, the down payment and also through the entry fee, and we're gonna discuss that in details, within this video. Now, the second thing or the third thing that you need to understand is that when a buyer buys this document from you, when a buyer buys this contract from a wholesaler, you, you want to ensure that the buyer is making at least a minimum of $400 profit, right? And we're gonna discuss now the underwriting and how we can make that profit to our buyer. Right. So let's go into the offer breakdown itself. Remember, the owner is now my bank. I'm paying him a PITI per month. And basically what I want to do is I want to rent this property out. So the rent amount pays the PITI and also provides me with at least $400 profit. So again, principal is the total to be paid. In this case, going to be the owner's asking price. Interest rate, that's the interest rate giving on top of the principal. Within this, with the owner financing case, we always want to stick to 3%. Tax plus insurance, you need to get them done from the owner. You can just guess them. The owner gets a down payment for, around 5 to 7%. There is a loan term, right? Loan terms can vary, can be 40, 50, 60 years, really depends on your negotiation skill with the owner. And there's something called a balloon payment. You may be wondering, if the loan term is 40 and 60 years, is the owner going to wait for me or is it going to wait 6 years till he get his full payment? No. Here comes the balloon payment. Balloon payment basically means that I'm gonna uh I'm going to pay the owner the rest of the money fully in cash in 10 years, right? So you want to stick to kind of these parameters, which is 3% interest rate, 5 to 7% down payment, balloon payment of 10 years, and loan term, between 40 to 60 years, right? Now let's break it down a little bit more by an example. Here we have the owner's asking price is 300,000. The property is currently renting for 1,500, and you have tax and insurance around $700 on the property, right? Let me pull my calculator right here. So, case number one. And the reason why these are called creative offers is that you can always play around with the numbers, right? So, case number one, we agreed on a loan term of 40 years, down payment of 10%, interest rate of 6%, and a balloon within 4 years, right? Let's run the numbers together. So, I am paying the owner 300,000. On top of it, I am paying a 6% interest rate, right? So that's a total of 318. Now, I'm giving the owner 10% down payment, so that's minus down payment, which is 10%, which I'm left with 286 and 286,200 dollars. That is my principal plus my interest, right? So the loan term in this case is 40 years. So I'm gonna divide this number by 40, and then I'm gonna divide it by 12 to know exactly how much money I'm paying each month. And that is $596 plus my $700 of tax and insurance. That means I'm paying a total PITI of $1,296. Now, in this case, our rent is a total of 1,500. And as you can see, we're not making any profit. So in this case, case number one, this is not ideal, right? So let's play around with our numbers. Same owner, same rent amount, same tax and insurance, but we're gonna play around with the interest, down payment, and all of that. Now, case number two, right? Our loan term is 60 years. Our down payment is going to be 5%. Our interest rate is going to be 3%. And the balloon is going to be 10 years, right? So $300 plus 5%, sorry, plus 3% interest rate minus 5% down payment, and we're left with 293 and $500,000, right? So we're gonna divide that by 60 years and then by 12, so I know how much I'm paying each month, which is 407 plus the $700 that we have in tax and insurance, which means I'm paying a total of 1107 $1,107 per month. I'm still not making any profit here. If you can see that I'm making profit around like $392, which is not much. I want to hit that 400 mark. Now, how are we going to hit the 400 mark? Right now, we have case number three. As you can see, I'm just playing with my numbers. I'm still giving the owner his asking price. What I'm doing is I am playing with my numbers to make sure that I'm making at least $400 in profit, right? So, case number three, right? You have the loan term 60, down payment 7%, interest rate 3%, balloon payment in 10 years. Now, let's run our numbers. $300 plus our 3% interest rate minus 7% down payment. That's 287 and $370 per month, right? Divided by our loan terms, which is 60 years, divided by 12. So I know how much exactly I'm paying each month. That's 400, almost $400 plus the $700 in tax and insurance. That is 1,900, sorry, $1,099 each month, which leaves me with $400 profit. So you can see here we have the same asking price, right? We have rent 1,500 a month, we have tax and insurance 700, but we played around with our numbers, right, to be able to make 400 minimum profit. Now, I don't want you to stick to 400 minimum profit, try to at least make 500 in profit, but you get the point, right? So this was a quick video underwriting a owner financing deal. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment below, or you can add me in my Discord server, and I'll just get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you, everyone.